quarterback the only true quarterback that ever came out of Kentucky was fucking Jared Lorenzo.
See, and I didn't even know that.
R.I.P. to the GOAT. But all I'm saying here, if you could stop running this shit. This offense that you're running is not working. Willie Snead is going to eventually go away. You have Hollywood Brown for 2 more years. Mark Andrews is a top 5 tight end. That's not arguable. Case in point, if your receiving core is that bad where you had to sign a fucking geriatric Des Bryant and he was getting productive passes thrown his way, doesn't that kind of tell you that you should maybe not be the Packers and draft a receiver?
Right.
With Hollywood, but they're putting him out wide. If you give it you know who like a kind of young player that would be great in that offense? Justin Jefferson, Claypool, T. Higgins. You need a guy on the outside to let Hollywood run all that middle shit. That's why Brown is so successful. Because they
100%.
Set him up in the slot, he runs all that shit, and he destroys people.
100%. 100%. Next game, Rams-Seahawks. What did you think about that game?
Russell is getting worse. Russell actually looks like he's legitimately regressing. If I'm a Seahawk fan, I am terrified.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I've said this before. The 2 picks that you traded for Jamal Adams, if you can fly to New York and blow Woody Johnson to get those picks back, try it. And by the way, fuck you, Jamal Adams, for that hit on what's his name, Wolford?
Oh, yeah.
That was some dirty fucking – I hate that shit.
Yeah, that was why.
Come on.
That was
John Wolford, however the fuck you say his name, is not a threat in the open field.
No. Not at all.
Yeah, I hate that late hit shit. That drives me up a wall. Yeah. Pick it up.
My thing with that game was I think we both had the Rams picked, and like you said, I agree. Russell has been looking worse ever since. I forgot what game it was where he threw 3 picks, and then from there on, it was over.
Yeah.
He just didn't look the same, and he still has yet to prove that he can win a playoff game without the Legion of Boom. That's a big problem. And they just fired their offensive coordinator, and I didn't like that decision by the Seahawks to fire him because he gave them what they needed. He had the offense. He was looking great at moments. Yeah, they could use another possible running back or maybe another slot receiver, but when they look good, they look good. But when they look bad, who was to blame? It was Russ.
Yeah.
His picks were going up. His fumbles were going up. His accuracy is going down. All the numbers are starting to go down.
Yep.
So at some point, we got to start pointing the finger at Russ because
can we also not forget that they're probably going to lose Tyler Lockett?
Exactly. So
that's 2 receivers you're out, probably.
And the other thing that I wanted to say, and this is for all the young kids out there who think that they need to pump their chest and be loud when they're not getting their way in a game. DJ Metcalf.
Yep.
I understand you were frustrated. You weren't getting the ball. But this is how the NFL works. This is how it works. When you got the number 1 cornerback at this moment in the league, shutting people down, you can't force your quarterback and your team to get you the ball. Because guess what? When you try, pick 6. And that's exactly what the fuck happened.
Yep.
When I saw that shit, I was heated as hell because I like DJ Metcalf. But you don't do that because then you're forcing your team and your quarterback to do something that they're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And it's going to your team.
Yeah.
And it did. So
again, we said I vividly remember we said this a couple weeks ago. The glue to that offense is Chris Carson.
Mm-hmm.
and Carlos Hyde when Carson inevitably gets hurt. Why are we not using them? I understand that the Rams are not like the team that you're going to ram, like no pun intended, you're not going to ram it down the Rams' throat.
Right.
But, like, you have good running backs. Carson, there's a reason that people draft Chris Carson by the 4th round in fantasy drafts.
Yep. Exactly.
You got to use them.
It's very simple.
That to me is just see, but now I would love to know what was said that led to Schottenheimer getting fired over philosophical differences.
Yeah.
Either Pete Carroll got in his feelings or John Schneider got in his feelings.
If I had to guess, it would be Pete.
Probably.
It would be Pete because he fights for Russell Wilson so much, and Russell probably had something to say about it, and that's where it ended. But I wanted to get back to DJ Metcalf, just so you know, DJ Metcalf, who you are going up against.
Yeah, right.
You're going up against Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
And this is what Jalen Ramsey has done this year. Amari Cooper, 7 receptions, 57 yards. Stephon Diggs, who's one of the best receivers in the league this year, 1 reception, 4 yards.
That's disgusting.
Allen Robinson, 1 reception, 42 yards. And by the way, all of these, 0 touchdowns, besides Stephon Diggs, which was his only reception for that 4 yards.
Right.
DJ Metcalf, 0 in week 10. He locked your ass up before, so you shouldn't have been surprised that he locked your ass up again. Mike Evans, 4 receptions, 40 yards. DeAndre Hopkins, 3 receptions, 20 yards. And then DJ Metcalf. Oh, no. DeAndre Metcalf, Hopkins again. 2 receptions, 28 yards. Total. He has let 13 receptions for under 100 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
He's a fucking problem. So you got to live with it. When someone's locking your ass up, you just got to live with it. It is what it is. But shout out to Jalen Ramsey for getting paid and actually making it worth it. Because I remember prior to this year, we were all on his ass about him getting that money and him not backing it up. But he's definitely backing it up now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it didn't – and let's be – you said he's going up against Metcalf twice, Nuke twice. If the Niners ever get a receiver, he'll see them twice too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you didn't even bother mentioning Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel.
Right. They weren't even on the list. Those were just Pro Bowlers.
Right. Yeah, those are the all pros.
Exactly. And he's locking them up. So
fucking
shout out to him for doing it.
I'm more proud of Ramsey for not running his mouth.
That too.
But if there's anyone who tends to run their mouth and it works in their favor, it's Ramsey.
Mm-hmm. And got to shout out Hill, the other corner, is surprisingly having a better year than he is.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That kid's disgusting.
That's fucking disgusting, man. So shout out to the Rams secondary. They're definitely doing their job. Well, obviously we're going to get into picks after this last one. Colts and Bills. What were your thoughts on that one?
That was I was working during that game, so I didn't really get to watch much of it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like 27-24 was about the score that we expected.
Mm-hmm.
All credit to Buffalo, obviously. You won a tough game against a good fucking team.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I am very curious. My questions with the Colts are not in this game. They did everything they could. It didn't seem like they did anything egregiously wrong. It just seems like the Colts are just a piece or two behind.
Mm-hmm.
With a big old question mark at quarterback from being perennial playoff team again.
Absolutely. No question.
But again, Buffalo, I expect you to win in your building against the 7th seed.
Mm-hmm. And again, they could have easily lost that game.
Yeah, no, that game was close. I mean, if there was any other quarterback than the fucking hand job driving down the field with the ball in the last 2 minutes, they could have been legitimately scared, but Charger DNA is Charger DNA.
Right. And they also missed 2 field goals.
That's also – I completely forgot about that. But, yeah, that's also true.
So, and they got the Bills the Ravens next week. So,
yeah, that game is going to be fun because Buffalo's got a better defense than fucking Tennessee does, but Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
If there's one team that does not use their running backs at all, it's fucking Buffalo.
Oh, yeah. So let's start – now that we're talking about the picks, let's get into the picks. Saturday, we got Saturday and Sunday, 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. Yeah. Starting off, Rams and the Packers, the number 1 Packers. Who do you got?
I have to take Green Bay. Devontae Adams is any lingering injuries that he may have had, those are probably healed. When you have cocky Rodgers, like Goat Rodgers is in the building,
yes.
you're not beating that Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
It takes the 2000 Ravens to shut down that Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Are we doing the scores again?
Fuck it. Why not?
All right. Give me 28-20 Green Bay.
28-20? Okay. I'm with you on this one. I'm going to go with the Packers as well. A healthy Rams team, like fully healthy Rams team, I think this would be a closer game.
Yeah.
Because, again, that defense is nothing to be played with. We just talked about Jalen Ramsey going up against Devontae Adams. That's going to be a matchup to look out for. Right. But with Jared Goff being injured, I don't think he's going to be on his game.
Yep.
And it showed last week. So I got the Packers going. I'm going to go.
Oh, sorry. Give me your score. I fucked up. That's on me.
I'm going to go Packers 30 to Rams 17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who in that game is your X factor? Obviously not Rodgers or Adams or Ramsey or Donald. Like, who's your X factor guy?
For the Packers, it would be I'm going to say their defense.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to say their defense, not because their defense is known to be good or, known to stop them down, be special or anything like that. But if they can, because like I said, if Jared Goff was healthy, I could see this being a high scoring game.
Yeah.
And if the Rams defense is playing at like they've been playing all season at a high level, I could see them giving the Packers some trouble. But I just don't see that being the case. So now, if the Packers defense can show up and slow down that offense, which can be very explosive at times with Woods and those guys, I think the Packers defense showing up big will make it the reason why I picked the 30-17 game.
If the Rams have any hope of winning this game, the Goff being injured almost plays into LA's favor here because the Green Bay's Achilles heel is the run defense.
Yes.
Not good. Cam Akers can go nuts in this game.
Yes, he can.
So can Darrell Henderson. So can all the fucking 8 other guys they seem to have.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, Akers would be my LA guy. The guy for me for Green Bay that has to play well here is fucking Tanyan. Tanyan's going to be the one who's going to keep drives alive. Yeah, I don't think Devontae at worst is the 3rd best receiver in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
There's no arguing that.
Right.
Ramsey, has been shutting everything down. So I'm not saying Devontae can't get maybe 75 and a bullshit touchdown.
Right.
But between Tanyan and specifically Valdez-Scantling, both of them need fucking
game. Yes, good point.
But Tanyan, to me, is the guy who is going to be your chain mover, your fucking keep the chains rolling.
Right, third down. Yeah. Right,
exactly. He's going to be the guy.
I like that. I like that one. I like that a lot. Next game, Ravens-Bills.
You kick this one off.
Want me to kick this one off? This is a good fucking game. I think this is a good game. You got Ravens who we know what they're going to do on offense. They're going to run the ball like crazy. And the Bills, on the other hand, are going to throw the ball like crazy. I like the Ravens defense a lot better than I like the Bills defense. Give me the Ravens. Give me the Ravens on this one. I think this is going to be a close one, but I think the Ravens will be able to, one, run the ball down their throats, two, control time management, keep, what's his name, Allen off the field, and that defense will be able to stop that Bills offense enough times and put up enough points to where they come out with it. I'm going to go 28-24 Ravens.
All right. I, in good faith, cannot pick Baltimore. But my head is telling me that Buffalo can still pull this off. I can see Diggs going ballistic in this game. And because here's the thing. Let's say the Ravens get the opening kick, right? That immediately is going to start the process of them trying to run 3 out of 4 downs, pass when they have to. Baltimore is a very one-dimensional offense. All you have to do is keep a linebacker and spy so Lamar can't run right up the middle.
Right.
And even then, if you tackle him, great. You probably won't.
Right.
But I think if Lamar has shown one thing, he can fumble. Pittsburgh made him do it. Dobbins is a good back.
Yes.
But Buffalo is also a hot defense right now.
Yes.
If we're talking X factor players here, to me, it has to be Ed Oliver. Oliver needs to have the best game of his career so far. Because if you can blow up the guards, don't overdo it. I don't need sacks out of you. It's what you got ends for.
Right.
I need you to basically manipulate the centers and guards so that Lamar cannot take off and run. It's not that that's a simple ask in terms of grasping the idea. Good luck doing that.
Right. It's a lot easier said than done, but you're right. Absolutely. If you take care of your responsibilities.
Right. Just go do your job.
Do your job. Don't try to do too much. When it comes to Lamar, it's really that simple.
You know,
if you do your job and the other person next to you does their job, you have a better shot of containing him.
You know who's a great example of Ed Oliver to watch from game film from last year and like a year or so prior? Javon Hargrave. When he was with Pittsburgh and dealing with Lamar, Hargrave had very good games against Baltimore with us. And again, they're very similarly built. That's the guy you got to be studying and figuring out, like, how exactly did a 280-pound nose tackle, get through Baltimore's line? Because they're always going to block well.
Yep. Very true.
I'm going to take Buffalo, but this game to me is like 24-21 all over it. 28-24, somewhere in that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it's also something worth noting that it's possibly going to snow that day, which is Lamar's. Yeah, and he said this is going to be his first snow game, but I honestly think it favors him because now the defense is going to have a harder time getting to him because we know how much jukes he can do and things like that. As long as he can control himself, it's going to be impossible to get him down.
I'll tell you what, though, but Lamar, even in the snow, we saw what happened when they played the Patriots in that monsoon.
Mm-hmm.
If you fuck with the turf enough, and I'm saying Mother Nature, not the Bills.
Right.
Mother Nature can fuck with the turf enough. Lamar can't just take off.
Yeah, right. If it's a blizzard and
right, a snow game is also is kind of a blessing in disguise. But they need don't give me like an inch here. Give me like
right. It's got to be
12 inches.
Exactly, and I don't even think that favors the Bills at all because, like you said, they don't have a running game, and weather games like that, you're going to need the running game.
No, but Buffalo's never going to be the team to run between the tackles anyway.
So right.
Moss is your guy between the tackles.
Mm-hmm.
This is the game where Singletary, you feed him shit, you dink and dunk.
Right.
Outside the numbers, try and gain 5 on a sweep. That's the type of shit they're going to be calling. But again, Diggs is probably not going to have more than, I would say, 7 catches because of how this game's going to – how it's going to flow. But Diggs Marlon Humphrey's very good. He's not Ramsey. He's not He's not, Xavier Howard.
Right.
He's in that second tier where a Diggs or, a top 5, top 10 receiver will be able to beat him.
Mm-hmm.
And again, over the top, the Ravens secondary is disgusting. Marcus Peters is very vulnerable to double moves. That's been a known thing all year. Even the announcers say it mid-game, we're waiting for him. And then, of course, when the one time Tennessee tried it, they threw it to some slapdick guy, Raymond, who's like their kick returner, and he fell.
Yeah.
But again, Cole Beasley has to be the guy.
Mm-hmm. He's
Queen sucks in coverage. Patrick Queen blows in coverage. If you're gonna sit him, in like a little fucking spy or like some cover 3, you're just asking for Beasley to kill you with slant routes.
All day long.
That's what I'm saying. Buffalo's best offense in this game is not running. It's the dink and dunk shit with Beasley, Dawson Knox, those guys. Diggs will get him slant routes. He can beat Humphrey on those routes.
Right. Yeah. He's gonna have to be patient on his because it's gonna have to open up.
Right. And Josh Allen has to compose himself. This game plan is not suited to what you're used to doing, but the weather might force you. Just because Baltimore is going to try and dominate time of possession, you're going to have to throw the high percentage, balls, the short shoot. Just get it over the D line.
100%. And you can't turn over. This is not the game to turn over the ball either.
Right.
It's not the game to do it. Next game, moving on to Sunday, you got the Chiefs versus the Steelers. Browns. Who do you got?
Are you serious?
Yeah, no upset. You don't see the Browns on going on a run?
If the Browns beat the Chiefs, I might legitimately put a gun in my mouth. I understand the Chiefs are vulnerable, right? I understand the Chiefs are not exactly clicking on all cylinders like we're used to. Here's the problem with the Browns. The Browns, when fully loaded on defense, if Ward is back and all their guys are back, God help you, because you still did lose to the Jets, and that's a barely functioning offense. This is now the Lamborghini that you're trying to keep up with. God help you. Tyreek Hill might go for 300 yards in this game.
Yep.
And again, Edwards-Helaire doesn't matter. Le'Veon Bell doesn't matter. They don't have anyone to cover Kelsey. If you're asking Carl Joseph to do it, you're fucked, because Carl Joseph is a run support guy. He is not a cover safety.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many mismatches. Who's covering Watkins?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Exactly.
all the other, and then God forbid, oh, by the way, Mecole Hardman's in the slot. You're fucked there too.
Mm-hmm. And think about this as well. The Steelers still put up 37 points on that defense.
Yeah, by the way, we almost won that game.
Exactly. They still made it, put up enough points.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, the Chiefs' offense.
Ben threw for 4 tutties, 4 picks, and over 500 yards.
Yep.
What do you think Mahomes is going to do to that?
Exactly. You got a mobile quarterback. You got the fastest receiver on the field. You got the best tight end.
You maybe have 2 of the 5 fastest people in the NFL lined up against you, and you only have 1 legitimately solid corner.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day for those DBs out there.
Right. But and of course, if Kansas City gets the ball first, Cleveland's already lost.
Yeah, absolutely.
At that point, Chubb and Hunt can only help you so much if you're playing catch-up.
Mm-hmm. So what you got for score?
I could still see Cleveland scoring probably at least 3 touchdowns. I'll go 35-24.
Wow, you took the score right out of my mouth. 35-24. I'll go 35-21 just to be different.
There you go.
I think that, like you said, they just don't have anything to stop that offense.
Right. The only way the Browns would actually have, in my opinion, a real shot to win this game is if Odell was playing. Because then you have the ingredients to keep up in the track meet.
Exactly.
You're done. Landry's your slot guy now. He's not the deep guy he was in Miami.
Yep. 100%. I could also see, like I said, I still see the score being that, but I could also see the Chiefs coming out sluggish.
Yeah.
Only because they've been basically off for 3 weeks. So,
yeah.
And we've seen that happen. So, but they just have so much power, so much explosive power on the offense.
Who's your X factor for Cleveland if they have any shot in this game?
X factor for Cleveland would be.
Yeah, I want to hear your take on this.
I don't know whether it would have to be. It would have to be someone on defense, and I'm gonna have to say Garrett just because he's their best defender on the D line. He's gonna have to put pressure on Mahomes. Not that it's gonna do much because he's mobile, but someone on that defense is going to have to cause havoc in order to give them a shot.
Yeah,
a forced fumble, a forced bad throw into an interception, something. Because if you let him sit back there and just watch Tyreek Hill walk down the sideline, then it's going to be a very long day. So someone on that defense is going to have to cause havoc. No one better than Myles Garrett because he has to go after the quarterback.
Yeah, the Browns are going to have to be sitting in like nickel and dime and quarter the whole game. And even that's not going to work.
Right.
To me, the guy for Cleveland has to be Hooper for the same reason that Robert Tonyan was my X factor for Green Bay.
Okay.
The best offense for you, the best defense for you in this game is your offense.
Is your offense, yeah.
Drives and fucking punch it in. If there's any guy who I could argue did not live up to his contract this year, it was Hooper. And I don't think it was his fault.
Right.
Baker never looked for him. This is the game. Good quarterbacks always know where and when to find their tight end.
Yep, absolutely.
Njoku and him were never going to be a match, but Austin Hooper is at least coming from Matt Ryan. And we've seen Austin Hooper can go for $120.
Yeah, absolutely.
More than capable of doing it.
Yep.
And in case in point, if you're Stefanski, who can actually coach this game in person.
Exactly.
What did he have in Minnesota? He had Kyle Rudolph and Irv Smith Jr.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Good point. All right. And now the last game, meeting for the third time, Bucs and Saints. I'll start this one off. I think I'll start off by saying I think the Bucs will play better this third time around, but I do not see them winning this game. I think the Saints are just still clicking on all terms, especially on defense. Drew Brees actually looked a lot better last game than he did to previous games. Arm still looks like he's, short arming it, but the intermediate to short passes and even a few long passes, they look pretty bad. They look pretty good. So if he can play like that, and their defense doing what their defense does, they know how to get after Tom Brady. They know what they have to do. They had the blueprint. Do exactly what you did the first two games, because they did not solve the puzzle. The Bucs, that is, did not solve the puzzle after the first time. And I don't think they'll be able to do it this time. So give me this thing.
If I'm a Tampa fan, I'm concerned that Washington held me under 30. And I'm also concerned that Washington scored over 20.
Yep.
Because the Saints are a better offense and a very comparable defense.
With Michael Thomas back.
Right. And then, forget Thomas. Thomas, to me, right now, is a nobody because he's been hurt all fucking year.
Right.
Are we forgetting that arguably the best running back in football this year is on New Orleans?
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention, I don't know what it is with Sean Payton, but he seems to know everything that Bruce Arians is throwing at him.
Yep.
On the fly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm not really – I would love to pick Tampa in this game. I can't do it because none of those games were close. This is like they have his number. They just do.
Yep. I just got their number. Yeah, it's that simple. I'm going to go with a score of I'll go 27-17.
All right. I'm going to go 34-21.
Woo! I don't blame you for it. I do not blame you for it.
I'm basing that one solely off of what the history books are telling me.
Right, and I don't blame you. I wanted to do that. I'm only giving the Bucs, a little bit of credit because they have been playing better as of late. But again, the Saints just got their number. They know what to do. So, other than that, you guys know exactly what to do. Leave your comments, share, like, and enjoy. Other than that, enjoy this football weekend, and we'll get back to you guys next weekend on our thoughts and our picks. It's your boy Jones, Luke, Locker Room Sunday. We make sports better. Peace.